thanks for joining me. If this is your first time working out with me, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. I'm Janice, and today we're going to be doing a begin workout. So this workout is going to be a full body strength and flexibility workout. We're going to use really light dumbbells. I'm going to be using a set of 2-pound dumbbells that I have here at home. They look like this. They're pretty in pink. Each one is 2 pounds. If you do not have dumbbells at home, do not worry. You don't need them for this workout. You can grab anything that you have. I would suggest 2 matching cans of something that you might have in your kitchen. Anything that you would have, as long as it's the same weight in both hands. So 2 water bottles, 2 cans of peas, 2 whatever it is that you have. And if you don't have anything that matches in weight, or if whatever you have might be too heavy for you, don't worry about it at all. This is just to add something extra. You don't even need weight for the exercises that we're going to be doing. So let's get started with a little bit of stretching to get warmed up. So we're going to start by taking some circles with your wrists. We're just going to make little tiny circles here and in the opposite direction. Now let's go forward arm swings, big circles like you're tracing a hula hoop with your fingertips. If it's too much to do 2 at once, you can do 1 at a time. And let's take those arm circles backwards. Same thing, if it's too much to do 2 at once, go 1 arm at a time. You're still getting the same action through your joint. It's a little bit less stressful. Now, one of my favorite stretches. Do you remember when you were a kid and you used to stuff your arms inside your jacket and then swing them back and forth so your arms would flap everywhere? Let's do that, but we're actually going to let our arms swing. So it's a little movement through your torso. Feels really good. All right, now let's reach up higher to the sky, and we're going to float on down to the ground. Reach up and float those arms down. Like a big body swing. And this doesn't have to come all the way down. We can reach up. You can keep your chest lifted. Whatever feels good for you. Beautiful. And now some little air squats. So it's just a bounce. I'll turn to the side. We're gonna lead with our hips. And you don't have to go deep here. Just starting to get some motion through your body to get you ready for what's coming up. Good stuff. And our last stretch, we'll take it into a walking jack. It's half of a jumping jack, so we're not jumping. This is a low impact exercise. Arms up as 1 foot steps out. How are you feeling? Alrighty, so now that we're a little bit loose and limber, we're gonna grab our dumbbells and we're gonna get started with that first exercise. So I'm gonna set a timer. We're gonna do each of these exercises for 30 seconds. We're gonna take a 30-second rest, and we're gonna do a second set of that same exercise. Ready to go? So our first exercise is going to be a dumbbell squat. So I'm grabbing my 2 dumbbells. You can grab your 2 cans of peas, your 2 water bottles, whatever it is that you have. We want our feet hip width apart. We're gonna let our arms come to the sides, and we're gonna start by sinking our hips back as we bend our knees. We want our chests to stay nice and high. So we're staying strong through our back, and that work is coming from your legs. As we stand up, we're gonna press our hips forward. That's it. We want the weight to stay in our heels. Now we're gonna take a 30-second rest before we do that same exercise again. If you're finding it's a little bit of a challenge to do this without anything behind you, I suggest using a chair. So I'll show you how we do our same squats, but with a chair for support in our next round. So you just want to stand in front of your chair. You're still sinking back with your hips, and you're letting your bum just tap that chair. It's not a sit down. We're not here to relax. It's just there so that you know you've got some support in case you feel like you're going to fall backwards. We're down and we're up. So having this chair as a support, make sure that we keep our weight in our heels We don't want to be leaning forward because that puts pressure on our knees that we're not looking for in the squat. You're doing awesome. We're almost done with these guys. Perfect. So I still need my dumbbells. Our next strength exercise is going to be for our back. So what we're going to do with this one, it's called a bent over row. I'm going to hinge at my hips. So again, I'm shooting my bum towards the back of the room. I'm leaning forward and I'm keeping my back nice and straight and strong. I don't want to round my back here. So it's like I'm pushing my chest forward towards the ground. Arms are hanging down towards the floor. And as I begin the exercise, I'm going to pull my elbows up to the sky. So we're in it now and we're going. Keeping those arms nice and close to my body. And I'm staring at the ground just about 2 feet in front of my feet. Don't hold your breath as you're doing this exercise. Beautiful. 30 seconds more to rest, and then we'll get started with that same exercise again. What we're trying to do here is squeeze your shoulder blades together at the top of that rep. Imagine that you've got an invisible pencil and you're trying to squeeze that pencil between your shoulder blades. So that's the action that we're looking for at the top of that rep. We're going to start again in about 10 more seconds. Ready? Let's get set up. Leaning forward, arms are down, and now they're up. Squeeze that invisible pencil. Elbows to the sky. We're using the muscles in your core to keep you stable here as you're bent over. Just a few more seconds. Fantastic. So now we're going to come down to the ground. We're going to lie down on our back. We've just worked our back. We're going to work our chest. So laying down for a dumbbell chest fly. We're going to start with our arms up towards the sky. Our feet are planted, our knees are up towards the ceiling. And I like to call this a hug move, like you're giving somebody a great big hug, where our arms are out and then we're bringing them together in front of us. Trying not to have too much of a bend in your elbow, but it's not locked out either. So we're in it and we're going. Out and up. We don't want to go too fast with these exercises. Even though we're using a light weight and you might feel like you can go a lot faster than this, you want to make sure that it's your muscle that's doing the work and not momentum. Take that 30-second break. Now remember, friends, this is called a chest fly, not a face fly. So we want those arms to be above our chest, not above our face, okay? So in line with your chest as we take them out and up. We're waiting for that beep. Use this time to breathe. There we go, we're back in it. Little micro bend in your elbow, so it's not locked out straight. We're not hyperextending here. That work is coming from the muscles in your chest. Fantastic. So we're going to come back up to standing. We've got time, so get there however you need to get there. And our next exercise is a dumbbell front raise, working the muscles in your shoulders. Again, I'm going to do this from the side. Make sure you're pulling in through your core so we're nice and tight here. Our arms, we're in an overhand grip, so the backs of our hands are going to face towards the ceiling. And we're going to lift our hands up parallel to the ground. So we're going to wait for that beep. There it is. Up and down. So you might notice that I'm making sure that my arms don't come any higher than my shoulder. They're parallel to the ground here. I don't want them up high, high to the sky for this exercise. We stop when they're level to our shoulders. Great job. 30 more seconds. We'll do one more set of those front raises. So full body workout. Our squats, we're working our legs. Our bent over row is working our back. Our chest fly was working our chest. We're working our shoulders. One more set of these and then we'll move on to our core. Everyone's favorite, right? Nice and tight in through your belly. And last set. Remembering that we want to go nice and steady. Sometimes the instinct is to go really fast. And we want to try and fight that instinct. We want to take this nice and slow so we feel that muscle activation happening. Perfect. So we're going to move our dumbbells out of the way. We don't need these guys anymore. And we're going to come all the way back down onto our mat or onto a towel, onto the floor. If you don't have a mat at home, no big deal. So our last exercise is to work the muscles in our upper abdominal region. We're going to make a little pillow with our hands. So our hands are just resting underneath our head to provide us support. And we're going to bring our chest up towards the sky. Now you're going to notice I'm not going very high. It's not like the old school 80s crunches that we might remember. If you can envision having a bathroom scale underneath your head and shoulders, we just want to lift high enough that that bathroom scale is going to read 0. So we're just taking the weight off of the scale. Good job. Take a little rest. So we're not lifting up really, really high. You're focusing on the muscles right here at the top of your core. The other thing I want you to notice is that with my hands here underneath my head, I'm not pulling up with my hands. I don't want to tuck my chin into my chest. I'm gazing right up towards the sky, trying not to compress into my chest. Last set. And just like with our other exercises, we want to go nice and slow. So I'm taking a little pause at the top of that crunch. So I'm up and I'm going to hold that for just a beat before lowering down. Up, pause, and lower. It doesn't look like much, but you should definitely be feeling this. That was it. That was all of our strength exercises. So I'm going to set another timer. We're going to finish off with some flexibility work. And then we'll be done. So coming back down onto our mat. Now you can do this with sneakers on or off. Maybe you did that whole strength training workout with no sneakers on, no shoes on at all, and that's totally fine. It's a personal preference. Our first exercise, our first stretch is going to have us in a seated forward fold. So my legs are straight and I'm just leaning forward towards my toes, going as deep as what feels comfortable where I can still breathe. If you find that you have to hold your breath in any of these stretches, you're going a little too deep. So I want you to just back out of it a little bit until you can take that nice deep breath in. If you can grab your feet or your toes, that's great. It's not necessary. Now moving into a seated twist, cross-legged. Right hand comes to left knee. We're going to get nice and tall, and then we're going to twist to the left. So you can use that right hand on your left knee for a little bit of pressure to help pull you a little deeper into the stretch. And anytime we do a twist through our spine, we want to get tall first before we turn. Other direction, left hand to right knee, get nice and tall. Initiate that twist from your lower belly first, so belly button, then your ribs, then your shoulders, And finally, the last thing to turn should be your head and your neck. Beautiful. Coming into a child's pose now, we want our knees wide. Our bum is going to sink towards our feet. Your hands can walk towards the front edge of your mat and let your forehead drop down to the ground. This is a relaxing pose, a relaxing stretch, so just breathe through this. And I'm going to come all the way onto my belly. Hands can come underneath my shoulders to push myself up for a cobra. If this is too much of a stretch in your back, you can come to a forearm cobra or a sphinx pose. It's a little bit less of a stretch through your back. So either one, low or high, depending on how much flexibility you have. Remember that the option or the goal here is to be able to still take a deep breath in and out. Now I'm going to push up onto my knees, tuck my toes here because we want to get a stretch through your feet. And you can stretch your shoulders at the same time by interlacing your fingers behind your back. So if this is too much of a stretch on your feet, you can come up off of your heels. If you want a little bit more, you can lean back slightly. So whichever level you need to feel your stretch. Now I'm going to come all the way up to standing for a chest stretch. So I'm going to pull my collarbone nice and wide, reaching behind my body. Feeling that chest stretch. And coming all the way forward into a forward fold. If you want to walk your feet out so they're about hip width apart, that's an option. And just let everything hang. Maybe you grab opposite elbows. Or you can just let your hands dangle towards the ground. Now sweep your arms up, overhead. Maybe you interlace your fingers, maybe you don't. You can look up towards the sky if that feels okay on your neck. And if you want to lean back slightly for a standing back bend, that is an option. And now I'm going to interlace my hands behind my back like I did when I was kneeling. Now this time, if you can, see if you can lift those hands off of your hips a little bit. This is our last stretch. So I hope you enjoyed this workout. Full body strength and flexibility. This is a begin workout. I had fun. I hope you did too. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you back here on our channel. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And we'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. Thanks guys. See you next time.